Okay, let's dive right into this. Have you ever just stared at your bank account and felt that absolute crushing weight of living paycheck to paycheck? It's exhausting, right? It's just completely overwhelming. Well, listen, you are definitely not alone in that. But what if I told you there's actually a clear, totally mathematical path out of all that stress? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a really fascinating look at a 12-month roadmap to debt freedom. We're going to take what feels like this impossible, chaotic mountain and transform it into a super simple, actionable step-by-step checklist. This is basically your escape plan.
So, $50,000. Just thinking about that number probably gives you a little bit of anxiety, right? I know it does for me. According to the source material we're breaking down today, the author of this roadmap was standing in that exact spot just a year ago, staring down 50 grand in debt. You might know that exact feeling. It's like you're working 40+ hours a week just to pay off the interest, right? Like you're never actually touching the principal balance. It honestly feels like being stuck on a treadmill where you're running constantly but literally going nowhere.
But here's where the turnaround actually begins. It starts with a pretty massive mindset shift, which is to treat your debt like a business emergency. This roadmap really stresses that debt isn't just, a stroke of bad luck, it's the direct result of financial habits. And to reverse those habits, you've got to treat your personal finances with the absolute urgency of a failing business. It basically means buckling down for a period of hardcore, short-term sacrifice. Look, I'm not going to lie, it won't be easy, but it is absolutely the required price for long-term freedom.
So, to execute this rescue mission, we're going to break it down into a highly logical checklist. Step 1 is the strategy. Step 2 is the funding. Step 3 is the protector. And finally, we'll wrap up with your freedom checklist. All right, step 1, the strategy. It's all about stopping the bleeding. Now, before we can even think about building wealth or finding any peace of mind, we have to plug the holes in the boat, right? There are two really popular strategies to do this. You've probably heard of the debt snowball, where you pay off the smallest balances first for those quick psychological wins. And hey, that absolutely works for some people. But our checklist today relies heavily on the debt avalanche method. Why? Well, because mathematically speaking, focusing every single extra dollar on the highest interest rate is what immediately stops that interest from secretly eating your wealth every single day.
Let's really cement exactly what this means so you can confidently check it off your list. The debt avalanche is a repayment strategy where you list out literally every single debt you owe. We're talking credit cards, car loans, personal loans, the whole shebang. Then, you attack the one with the highest interest rate with every extra dollar you can scrape together, while just paying the bare minimums on everything else. Once that top one is completely gone, you take all those funds and roll them right into the next highest rate. It's honestly the ultimate weapon against the debt monster.
Moving right along to step 2, the funding. We need to talk about finding the cash. So you're probably wondering, where do I actually find the extra money to fund this avalanche? Well, it starts with immediate, aggressive action. You need to comb through your bank statements line by line and cut out all those hidden expenses. Pause Netflix for a while. Cut those unused gym memberships that, let's be real, you keep promising yourself you're going to use. Delete those forgotten app subscriptions that are just quietly draining $5 a month from your checking account. I know it sounds small, but freeing up this initial cash flow is the essential kindling to get your debt avalanche burning. And once you've trimmed the fat, it's time to enforce a new, hardcore budget using the 50-30-20 rule. Here's how it works. You allocate exactly 50% of your income strictly to your needs, stuff like housing, groceries, and utilities. Then, you limit your wants to 30%. And here comes the absolutely crucial piece of this checklist. That final 20% is dedicated entirely to debt repayment. Sticking to this breakdown is how you visualize and truly enforce that new budget. It effectively takes your income and turns it into a disciplined, debt-destroying machine.
Okay, let's look at step 3, the protector. This is all about protecting your score. A huge anxiety a lot of people have when aggressively paying down debt is this fear that it's going to somehow completely tank their credit score. Well, let's bust that myth right now. The real trick to protecting your score is understanding the credit utilization rule. The absolute magic number here is 30%. In plain English, credit utilization is simply how much credit you're currently using compared to how much you actually have available to you. To keep your credit score perfectly healthy and to actually improve it while you're paying down debt, you need to keep your utilization strictly below 30%. And here's another vital pro tip to add to your checklist. Keep your oldest credit cards open to protect your credit history. Look, I know it is incredibly tempting to just close an account the very second you finally pay it down to zero, right? You just want it gone. But don't do it. A massive part of your credit score is the length of your credit history. That long track record is highly valuable. So pay it off, literally cut up the physical plastic card if you have to, but keep the actual account open. So, the crucial takeaway here is this. By paying down your balances, maintaining that low utilization, and keeping your oldest accounts open, you are not hurting your score at all. In fact, the author of this roadmap actually saw their FICO score jump over 100 points in just one single year using this exact method. That's huge. And a better score means significantly lower interest rates on literally everything in your future, from getting a mortgage to buying car insurance.
Which brings us to your freedom checklist. Let's map out your path forward.
Here is your master checklist, bringing this entire 12-month strategy together into 3 concrete steps you can mentally tick off right now. Number 1, stop the bleeding with the debt avalanche method, systematically attacking that high-interest debt first. Number 2, fund the plan using the 50-30-20 budget to strictly allocate your income. And number 3, protect your score with the 30% credit utilization rule.
Ultimately, while the math we've outlined today is totally crystal clear, success really comes down to discipline. As the source material reminds us, the peace of mind I have now is priceless. Those 12 months of hardcore budgeting and sacrifice, yeah, they might be some of the hardest of your life. It requires real, serious commitment. But that short-term sacrifice is exactly what results in ultimate, long-term peace of mind.
Which leaves us with one final thought. Are you ready to claim your financial freedom? It takes real action to change your life. Comment the word freedom below to take that very first step of commitment. And hey, keep exploring these concepts, because accelerating this checklist, perhaps through side hustles that can literally double your debt-paying income, well, that's the next thrilling piece of the puzzle. You aren't in this alone, guys, so take this knowledge, use the checklist, and go take control of your financial future.